This is IGN. Rumors are swirling of a big Nintendo Direct in February. Welcome to your IGN Daily Update. But first, Marvel fans are discussing new rumors that Avengers: Secret Wars could be split into two parts to create a truly supersized finale to the MCU's multiverse saga. To be clear, the suggestion we could get a Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2 is far from confirmed. Instead, the suggestion here is that this is something Marvel is simply considering. Still, the idea that fans might get even more Avengers over the next few years has many very excited. Over the past week, word that Marvel was toying with turning Secret Wars into two movies was discussed on the Hot Mic podcast with entertainment insiders John Rocha and Jeff Snyder, and again online by veteran Marvel tipster Daniel Richtman. Richtman suggested Marvel would make a decision on splitting Secret Wars after seeing how successful this year's Avengers Doomsday ended up being. Rocha, meanwhile, said a source had told him Marvel was considering the idea, while Snyder added that the move would also allow Marvel more runway to ready up its next phase of films due afterwards. Now, fans are excitedly discussing the idea, but also questioning how exactly this could work production-wise, with Avengers: Secret Wars set to begin filming later this year. Marvel is no stranger to filming with fluid scripts, but the idea that it would have a large chunk of Secret Wars already shot by the time Avengers Doomsday debuts this December would still make for an unusual mid-production pivot. Time will tell if Marvel can do all of that without splitting Secret Wars. Until then, Avengers Doomsday arrives this December 18th. Avengers: Secret Wars is currently set to launch a year later on December 17th, 2027. Meanwhile, DC Universe chief James Gunn is once again having fun on social media with a cryptic tweet referencing Martian Manhunter. The tweet includes a picture of a pack of Chocos, DC's take on Oreos. Fans of DC Comics know that Martian Manhunter, one of the 7 original members of the Justice League of America and one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, is addicted to Chocos, which makes this tweet a thinly veiled reference to the much-loved superhero. Given Gunn did much the same thing in 2024 and it sparked Martian Manhunter speculation back then, he'll of course have known how fans would react to his tweet, and they haven't let him down. The suggestion here is that Martian Manhunter will appear in an upcoming DCU movie or TV show. This year's Supergirl doesn't feel like the perfect fit. Could next year's Man of Tomorrow be the right place for the character's debut? By the way, the pictures in Gunn's tweet appear to show the Office Ultraman destroys in Superman, so we're not looking at Man of Tomorrow set photos here. Or maybe the Office was rebuilt and repurposed. At this point, it's anyone's guess. Man of Tomorrow will hit theaters on July 9th, 2027, almost exactly 2 years after Superman's release. A sizable Nintendo Direct is expected next month and potentially as soon as next week, according to one report. Word of a major announcement showcase comes hot on the heels of 2 other smaller Nintendo Direct broadcasts dedicated to the Super Mario Galaxy movie held last weekend and Tomodachi Life Living the Dream due today, January 29th. Aside from those, Nintendo is still to lay out the majority of its 2026 Switch 2 release slate, something fans now expect to find out sooner rather than later. Indeed, noted Nintendo leaker Nate the Hate, who correctly reported the Switch 2's big reveal date last year, has lent his weight behind the Direct landing next week, likely on Thursday, February 5th. Speaking this week via his podcast, the leaker said he expects this year to feature a swath of smaller Nintendo IPs before the long-awaited next 3D Mario platformer finally ground pounds onto Switch 2 in time for the holidays. This is something that is also widely expected by fans, not least because it has been almost 9 years since Switch blockbuster Super Mario Odyssey, but also because Nintendo's 3D Mario team has been conspicuously quiet ever since. While some veterans did assist with Donkey Kong Bonanza, many did not, including the company's usual Mario producer Yoshiaki Koizumi. Will we see a first glimpse of Nintendo's big Mario game next month? So far, no leakers made that claim. Still, there's a feeling among fans that 2026 will be when it finally debuts, to give the Switch 2 a boost as it enters its sophomore year. Another major boost expected this holiday will be the widely anticipated next generation of Pokemon games, details of which were spilled online last year via hacked information taken from the servers of developer Game Freak. Like Mario, fans expect these to also arrive later in 2026, which is the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise. One final expectation among fans touched on by Nate the Hate is for Nintendo to discuss more of its plans for Mario Kart World, the Switch 2 launch title it charged $80 for, which landed to solid if not spectacular reviews. Many fans have criticized the game's empty open world, and Nintendo has recently begun tweaking parts of it, but there is also an assumption that Nintendo will add major new content to the title over time. Will this arrive in the form of paid DLC, as with Mario Kart 8? It's possible, but Nate the Hate makes the point that pushing the game's total buy-in closer to $100 may ultimately prove unpalatable to Nintendo fans, particularly after many feel the base game is still yet to justify its $80 asking price. Here's hoping we don't have too much longer to wait until Nintendo does nail down its next major direct date. Pokemon's big announcement show, meanwhile, is now an annual event taking place on the franchise's anniversary, February 27th. That's your IGN Daily Update. My name is Tony Jackson, and if you want more news on your favorite games and entertainment topics, make sure to visit us at IGN.com. You can also download our free app on your phone or console and subscribe to our weekly podcasts through the podcast service of your choice.
Spoken Layer.